Hello and good morning dear students. You all are welcome to this video subject session of subject SS. But students, today from onwards we are going to start the chapter 2 of the geography section, that is the land, soil, water, natural vegetation and wildlife resources. This chapter starts with a story which says in a small village in Tanzania, Africa, Mamba gets up very early in the morning to fetch the water. Now, students, South Africa is the country in which Mamba is the name of the girl who is living, and she wakes up early in the morning. Why she wakes up early in the morning? To fetch up water for her family. She has to walk a long way and return after few hours. And then what she is doing after fetching the water? Of course, she's walking a long way and return after few hours after fetching the water from the well. She then helps her mother in the house and join her brothers in taking care of their gods. Now, this is the family which is totally associated with the agriculture, which is totally associated with the nature. So, their next activity of the family is to taking care of the goats. And Mamba is doing, she's helping her brothers to take care of the goats. All her family owns is a piece of rocky land around their small hut, and they are living in a hut which is not a pakka house, it's a kind of the kacha house. They are having a piece of land on which they are doing certain activities, rearing the gods, taking care of the agriculture and various other activities they are engaged in. But then Mamba's father can barely grow some maize and beans on it after toiling hard. This is not enough to feed their family for the whole year. But then Mamba's father, what he is doing as an occupation, he is growing maize in the field and the beans, which is a kind of the crop. And this is not enough for their family for the whole year to consume it. Another story starts with Peter lives in the hut of the ship rearing region in New Zealand where his family runs a wool processing factory. Now, Peter is a boy who is living in New Zealand, and his family is totally the same like the family of Mamba. They also are associated with the forest region. They are also doing the activities of rearing the sheep, taking care of the agricultural fields. Every day when he returns from school, Peter watches his uncle taking care of their sheep. Now, every day when Peter returns from his school, he watches his uncle taking care of their ship, and Peter watches his uncle taking care of ship. Their shipyard is situated on a wide grassy plain with hills in far distance. Student, shipyard means a place where the ships are kept. Ships, what basically they are giving the wool. Peter's family is engaged with the wool processing industry. That is the reason they are rearing the ships to take the wool, and they are associated with the ship rearing industry. They are manufacturing the woolen things. It is managed in a scientific way using the latest technology. Peter's family, when they are doing the agricultural activities, they are managing with the latest technologies. Peter's family also grows vegetables through organic farming. Now, here Peter's family also does the activity of cultivating the vegetables with the method of the organic farming, which is totally fit and suitable for the human life, fit and suitable to lead a healthy life. The conclusion says that Mamba and Peter stay in two different parts of the world and lead very different lives. Mamba, who lives in South Africa, Peter, who lives in New Zealand. But then there is lots of difference between the two. And on this occasion, their life is totally the same. This difference is because of the differences in the quality of the land. The difference here is created because of the quality of the land. At one time, South Africa has the different quality of the land. New Zealand is different quality of the land, water, natural vegetation, animals, and the usage of the technology. Both their families are engaged in the agriculture activities, and to some extent they are running the same kind of the occupations of agriculture and doing the primary activities to run their lifestyle, to run their livelihood. Peter's family also grows vegetables through organic farming. Now, this already we have discussed, students. The availability of such resources is the main reason places differ from each other. The availability of such resources which the Peter and Mamba's family is using is the main reason, is the main places differ from the each other. Now let us see, let us talk about something on the land. So land is among the most important natural resources. Yes, without land we cannot do any activity. So land is also considered to be one of the most basic resources. It covers only about 30% of the total area of the earth's surface, and all parts of the small percentage are not habitable. Underline the word habitable and write it down, students. A place which is fit for the living. So the land which is available on the earth, only about 30% of the total land area out of 100% is only fit, and we can say that is only be considered to be for our habitant purpose like agriculture and every other activity. The uneven distribution of population in different parts of the world is mainly due to varied characteristics of land and climate. Here we can say that the uneven distribution of the population in the world. Now at one side, China is the first in the world in terms of the population, whereas India stands second. So there is a varied difference between the other countries of the world and between these two countries. And we said that due to the varied characteristics, the rugged topography, steep slopes of the mountains, low-lying areas susceptible to water, lodging areas, thick forested areas are normally sparsely populated or uninhabited. And due to some or other reasons, these all areas are not fit for the agricultural purposes or for the living purposes, and for this reason only every part of the earth cannot be used for these activities. Plains and river valleys offer suitable land for the agriculture. Students, plain is an area which has height of less than 180 meters above the mean sea level, and those all areas are habited for the human lifestyle, and other creatures can live on this part of the land which has less than 180 meters of the height. Hence these are densely populated areas of the world, and for this reason only these areas are the densely populated areas of the world. Let's see the land use. Land is used for different purposes such as agriculture, forestry, mining, building houses, roads, and setting up of the industries. And land is one of the resources which can be used for different purposes such as agricultural, forestry, mining, and various other purposes. Yes, of course, industry can be set up on the piece of land only, and this is commonly termed as the land use. Can you list out the different ways in which Mamba's and Peter's family use their land? So of course we have listed it out that Peter's and Mamba's family use the land for their own purposes, say for agriculture and every other kind of the aspect. The use of land is determined by physical factors such as topography, soil, climate, minerals, and availability of the water. So the use of land can only be said that should only be used by such factors such as the topography of the soil, climate, minerals, and availability of the water. And human factors such as the population and technology are also important determinants of the land use pattern. And another some of the important factors which are considered are named as the population and technology are also important determinants of the land use pattern. Let's take a glimpse at the table which is given downside is that the land use in selected countries. So the four categories given here is for the cropland, pasture land. Cropland means anything in which agricultural activity is possible. Pasture land is the one. where the animals can be given the land for their grass eating purposes, forest purpose and other uses. In that, India leads with 57% in the cropland, whereas forest area in India is covered up to 22, other purposes is for 17 and 4 is the pasture land, whereas Australia leads with the pasture land and Japan leads with the forest area, with having maximum forest in the world with 67%. So this is the thing what we are discussing in today's session for the land and the resources which we are using on the land. Students, for our next video session, thank you. Have a nice day to all.